Yep.
You want to make any changes? Why?
Well, because someone did email and then made the change, but it's not up yet. Yeah, because there's, well, the T was that. You know how you can add a thing so you can track it. Yeah, because That's really fun.
Oh, the lighting is so.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. I'm sorry. I don't want to call on your share. You know, you're trying your best.
No, I'm not actually.
Okay. I also took this off mute, by the way. That's hilarious. Sorry, now I'm making you what we're saying.
Alright.
I'm sorry. Trying your best.
No, I'm not actually.
I also took this off mute. Sorry, now I'm making you what we're saying. Like test 1 2 test 1 2. Like listen. I mean, if you want to just like test 1 2 test 1 2 for a second. Yeah. Because I asked them and they said that's enough. So it's fine. Isn't that crazy?
Excuse me.
Yes.
How do we watch it on Facebook Live? I want to
It's
send
not on
it to.
Facebook. It's on
And
our
as we're
YouTube
waiting for
page.
our final
So-
judge. I believe, okay.
Thanks. I don't know. It's okay. This is
And
our
while
lecture.
you're waiting, if
And then
you
I can
And you
scan
can
that
little share
QR
Right, thank
code,
you so much.
it will go to the program for tonight's event. And it has all kinds of information about what's going on tonight. So take a picture of that QR code, please.
Working, yes.
My sister the link of like what Professor said and like what I got from him. So she can't get in.
It's just, what is it? It
Oh,
should be
it's
YouTube.
Yeah,
Let me see. Just
like
like,
that. Like that's what I sent her. She said she can't get in.
that's really weird. Don must have gotten the link wrong then.
Can you see the videos in?
Yeah, I can. I'm gonna check it on my phone. 12 are watching right now. Here. I sent him a copy and paste. I guess he must have typed it. It's just for YouTube page. That's all it is.
Oh.
It's
Is it
like our
posted
channel.
anywhere?
It's stuck.
Right, let's get this party started. Welcome, everyone. It's nice to have you to the second annual Battle of the Bronx. It's a knockdown drag out there, you know. They talk about Shark Tank. It's nothing. We laugh in their face. We laugh in their face. This is the Battle of the Bronx. Named after the long-running basketball championship between Manhattan College and Fordham, in which Oh, Manhattan College leads 58-54. So I have at least 4 more years to keep saying that. All right, or 3 or something like that. So yes, exactly. We won't talk about women's basketball, however, it kind of goes the other way. But I'm Don Gibson, Dean of the O'Malley School of Business. It's great to have you here. I am with our Director of the Entrepreneurs at Manhattan College, who you will meet in a few moments, Winston Peters. And Assistant Dean Aileen Farrelly is in the back, ready to compile judges' scores. From Fordham, we have Al Bartusik, Executive Director of Fordham Foundry. He'll say hello in a sec. We have Milton Sussberg, who is here, Director, and Sean. And Sean's last name is something that eludes me.
Johnson.
Johnson, there we go. How hard is that name?
It's Polish.
You go, Jasonsky. All right, but tonight, $10,000 is on the line. There are giant checks to show this right here. Okay, that goes to the winning team to pay expenses for their business. And I just want to appreciate the great work all the teams have done. This is extracurricular activity in most cases done outside classes, and it's based on the motivation of students who are really interested in starting new businesses. So these are terrific ideas. I think you'll be impressed with the creativity and energy displayed here. Now, it's not only about checks tonight, folks, and these are for expenses of real businesses. It's also about, that's right, the trophy. Now, this sad, dark little trophy has spent the last year in Rose Hill. Yay! Well, very good. Because Fordham took first place last year, nice work. Manhattan College had second and third. Oh, 2 out of 3. Okay. So we hope that this trophy will now take up residence in Riverdale for this year, but we shall see. Let the best team win. So Al, would you like to say a few words to your Fordham loyal?
I only have like 3 people.
Very good.
Thanks, Don. So, yeah, thank you. My name's Al Bartosik. I'm the Executive Director of the Fordham Foundry. So we are thrilled to be here at Manhattan College for the 2nd annual Battle of the Bronx. And so we just had our pitch challenge a couple weeks ago. You guys just had your innovation challenge, I guess, last week. So we're excited to kind of face off and get into it. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Winston as our capable MC, and may the best school win. Thanks.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming to the 2nd annual Battle of the Bronx. Okay, my screen just went black, but it's all right. Okay. Again, thank you again for coming to the 2nd annual Battle of the Bronx. Again, my name is Winston Peters. I'm the Director of the Entrepreneurs at Sea here at Manhattan College. And again, Entrepreneurs at Sea, our goal is to help further entrepreneurial thinking and entrepreneurial tools for our students here abroad all over Manhattan College. With that being said, I want to give a little bit of the judging criteria for this evening. Now, we'll be judging on the value proposition of these student groups. Like, what is the value that they're proposing for their startup idea? Also, the marketing and customer development. Going from there, understanding what does the customer look like, who is your customer, how are you looking to retain those customers, the economics of their startup as well, like what is their revenue structure, what is their cost structure. All of that is important information. And also understanding the organization and execution. Like, execution is everything within a startup, so understanding what this organization and execution looks like. And then lastly is what is their presentation style and the content of their presentation as well. Is it a good pitch? Is it a bad pitch? And how are we going to move forward? That, now I'm going to introduce the judges. Well, the first judge we have for the Battle of the Bronx is Richie Cruz. Now, Richie Cruz is an industry recognized marketing leader, an advisor, has a proven track record. Right now, Richie currently serves as the general manager of Robot Company, the Spring Hill Company's brand consultancy. Richie Cruz. Next judge we have coming up is Ben Hart, an entrepreneur, strategist, speaker, as well as author. He is the author of The Zero Mindset. Ben has a passion for improving the lens through which you view the opportunities in front of you, especially starting from zero. Ben Hart. Our next judge is Jerome Juan. Mr. Juan is currently the program director of the global finance at the Business School of Fordham University, who is also an angel investor. He also is the CFO of Malone Lab LLC. Jerome? Or otherwise known as Jerry. Our last judge is currently unable to attend at the moment, but hopefully she'll arrive soon. Who is Emily Blumenthal. Moving forward, again, also not to forget for people in the room as well as people online, there is an audience favorite. You get to choose using pollev.com business/business844 to choose who will get the audience favorite, one of these 5 student group startups. And also you'll get that information later on in the program. Again, welcome to the Battle of the Bronx. And kicking off this pitch, I'm just looking at the order again. First group coming will be presenting is Green Acre Exchange.
Hi everyone, we are Green Acre Exchange. Today we want to share with you our plan to slow down fast fashion. In 2022, fast fashion has a chokehold on the garment industry. As trend cycles become faster and prices to the consumer are at an all-time low, people are increasingly looking at clothes as something disposable. This has caused 35% of all microplastics in the ocean as a result of the cheap synthetic textiles used in the fast fashion industry, as well as 10% of all CO2 emissions being caused by garment factories across the world that employ low-wage workers in poor conditions. So our story and our solution to slow down fast fashion starts in 2016. I was able to pick pieces that were destined for landfill and resell them for a profit on various online platforms. In 2020, with the help of YouTube and my grandma, I was able to learn how to sew and started designing my own products. We were able to create over 300 unique one-of-one pieces and keep them out of the landfill. In November 2021, we decided that in order to take the next step, we would have to grow and build a team. So I looked to my friends at Manhattan College across the School of Business, the School of Liberal Arts. They're multi-talented, creative people. They help everything run smooth. They all have their own defined roles. So for our business model, everyone on the team is a trained buyer, so we all know how to buy and sell out of markup. We have 3 different categories of product ranging in prices and margins. Our lowest is our wholesale vintage, which we operate about a 44% markup. Our retail vintage is about a 53% markup. And our biggest revenue earner is our rework vintage, where we will operate about a 61% markup. So our customer is the ever-growing environmentally conscious fashion consumer. We think a good way to track these metrics is by looking at secondhand apps like Depop. As you can see at the beginning of COVID, a huge spike in users of the Depop app. That's the monthly users. Additionally, Gen Z is powering the secondhand fashion. They're adopting it at a quicker rate than any other age group. And mainstream Instagram influencers are bringing DIY sustainability to the forefront, such as the Polar Cloth. As far as competition, we compete with other Instagram brands like Defective Garments, which is one of the bigger ones. They're more of a trendy, less classic design, low price point. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Bode, which is a high price point, rooted in classic design. Green Acre wants to be somewhere in the middle. We offer a medium price point and designs rooted in classic American design. So for our main strength, we have a very strong brand identity and aesthetic. We have competitive pricing, diverse revenue streams. Our weaknesses are our time costs and our reliance on Instagram. Our opportunities are the growing market that is secondhand, as well as access to better wholesale locations as we grow and expand into other social media platforms to expand our presence. Our biggest threats are changing Instagram algorithms, our sourcing locations becoming dry, and oversaturation of the market. As far as our marketing channels, our main platform is Instagram. We pay for advertisements on there that can target our customers. We also do influencer collaboration with mainstream music artists like Calvin Harris, 10 million followers. We also do more niche Instagram archive pages that post small brands like Acre. We also do experiential marketing all across the city. We have pop-ups in every borough. We do email campaigns to alert our customers of new promotions and price drops. So our main source of revenue comes from our website, shopgreenacre.com, but we also sell on other secondhand apps like Depop, eBay, and Rail. For our in-person sales channels, we pay for vendor spots at flea market style pop-ups all across the city. We also are partnered with brick and mortar vintage resellers that host us for pop-ups and keep permanent stock of our collections. For our revenue, in the 2 years we've been operating, we've gained about $52,704. We spent about $26,750, which brings our profit about $25,954. So for our next step, we're looking to launch our spring-summer collection. Over this current summer, we want to liquidate our fall-winter inventory. And in fall-winter, we want to get a more permanent workspace or storefront and continue to work with collaborators such as other influencers to grow our Instagram presence. If you choose today to invest $45,000 in us, we're going to spend $2,000 on flea market vendor spaces. We want to spend about $1,000 on Instagram advertising between influencers and Instagram advertisements. We want to put $1,000 towards our rent for our storefront in the coming fall winter. And we want to spend $500 to purchase a screen printer so we can make more low time costing products.
Thank you, Green Acre Exchange. Love the drip. Now, in terms of first questions for the judges, Richie Cruz, do you have any questions?
Great job. I know brevity is key here. First question, what's your name?
Luke.
Luke, pleasure to meet you, Luke.
Thank you.
I'll leave my comments for later, but just one question on inventory. And velocity specifically based on your current mix of product. What happens with inventory currently that isn't moving?
Well, right now, one of the great things about us is that we do recycling and repair. So for a piece of vintage that doesn't sell, we can always rework it, but we're also looking to donate any extra pieces we have. Right now, we're looking at fundraisers for the Ukrainian war. So we're going to donate some blankets, pieces that don't sell to them.
So nothing is marked down.
We'll do markdowns. I like to do markdowns in person at our physical pop-ups, just to give people, a cash deal. And because I believe in old flea market mentality, negotiate. I personally like that, so I try to get some good deals when I can. And depending on the season too, I don't want to be stuck with a ton of jackets in the summer. So.
Thank you.
Cool. One, I love the cause. I think it's cool. I love the story real quick that you had when you started off with that, especially with the grandma tying that in. That was perfect. I got a question. So I have a couple comments and one question. I would have loved to heard more about the team, quite honestly. I would have loved to see how the roles fit in and how you guys complement one another. Even if one or two of them just stepped up real quick, said a couple things, maybe not at that moment, but throughout the process. I know I had broken down here. I know you mentioned outside of IG, you have other distribution channels you're definitely looking at. When you came to Calvin Harris, when you said that, does that mean he was wearing some of your pieces, or what does that mean?
Yeah, so his new album is coming out soon, Funk Wave Volume 2. And I was reached out to by a stylist for like a promotional music video. He purchased a pair of denim. So he's gonna be wearing it in the video. It's not out yet, and I haven't been able to get any of it because it's hard to come by and stand releases, but hopefully soon. I think the album comes out within like 3 weeks or so. So
That's
we'll see the
awesome.
promotional material.
That's cool. And just real quick, maybe I missed it. It went a little quick from being honest, but maybe I missed it. What was the valuation when you asked for 45? Is that what it was?
Well, the first place today is 4,500. So correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Well, that's it.
Thanks. Hi, guys. What's your definition of collections?
Collections. So the way we operate is we make custom pieces, so anything that's not coming out as like a custom piece is a collection for us. So right behind you, actually, I'd like to invite everybody at some point to check it out. But that's our spring-summer collection. It consists of about 12 looks, about 15 pieces. And we try to come out with them every season and then supplement in between with more low time costing vintage releases.
So to avoid all microplastics, is this like all natural materials?
Well, we usually buy made in USA, which is usually dated pre-90s. And you see after the 90s, that's when you see big synthetic materials. So if you buy something from like a fast fashion retailer, you check the tag and it's nylon, that's all, when you wash it, it goes directly into the water supply. So that's what accounts for 35%, more than plastic water bottles, all that. So the materials that we use, like we have like all natural denim. We try not to use anything that's synthetic to cut down the microplastics. Yeah.
So I'm going to challenge you, you try not to, what percentage would you say is actually synthetic?
Well, out of anything right there, all of it is pre-90, so none of it's going to be actually synthetic, but out of the materials we use, stuff I come by, you know, a lot of stuff's hand washable too, so.
Yep.
Thank you.
Before you go, are there any other questions from the judges? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Green Acre Exchange. Next group that we have presenting is Up For You, Victor Schultz and Mark Captain.
Well, my name is Mark Katza.
And my name is Victor Schultz.
We are both freshman varsity water polo players at the Valley School of Business. Our company is Up For You, where we connect NCAA athletes with sponsorship opportunities. On July 1st, 2021, a federal legislation was passed that allowed NCAA athletes to make money off their personal brand, otherwise known as NIL. Prior to this, collegiate athletes cannot get sponsorships or brand deals. Up For You is the network that connects NCAA athletes with brand deals and sponsorship opportunities. Ever since the NIL legislation has passed, only the top 1% of collegiate athletes have been able to take advantage of this unique opportunity. This is mostly the football and basketball stars at top schools who have a large presence on social media. This is because the other 99% do not have a big enough following to provide value to brands as individuals. I myself have never had a large presence on social media. I pride myself on my sport. It's my life. Knowing that water polo is not the most highly broadcasted sport, it's a lot more difficult for me to earn a sponsorship deal than, let's say, if I was the NFL's #1 draft pick. Our mission is to eliminate the disparity and level the playing field for the athletes who are overlooked and underappreciated. We realize that this opportunity lies within the power of the masses. 50 athletes with 2,000 followers has a much larger social reach than one athlete with 100,000 followers. This is proven by engagement rates. The engagement rate of an Instagram influencer with anywhere between 50,000 and 100,000 followers is a mere 1.87%, nearly half the amount of a micro-influencer. On the other hand, for a nano-influencer, the engagement rate ranges from 5 to 10% on average. So what we decided to do is serve as a middleman, providing brands with bundles of micro and nano-influencer student athletes.
Currently, if an athlete wanted to get a deal, they'd have to spend countless hours researching and reaching out to brands with no guarantee they'll get any replies. Likewise, if a brand wanted to take advantage of this new opportunity and run a micro-influencer campaign, it would take a major effort to find these athletes and vet them. At Up For You, we're eliminating these difficulties and facilitating this transaction. Athletes sign up to our network at no cost to them. Meanwhile, we actively work to pitch our marketing model to brands. When we begin deal negotiations with the brand, we establish the exact demographic of athletes that best fits their needs, along with the price they have to pay per athlete. We then provide them with the athletes that fit the parameters of the deal and take a 36% commission on the payment. Athletes follow through with their end of the deal, which is typically a simple Instagram post of the product, and then get paid by us. As you can see here, this is an example of what one of these posts would look like.
In fact, the protein powder you see in this picture was the first deal we organized for our athletes. The company ordered 50 athletes, paying $45 for each one. Our athletes took home $29, leaving us with a profit of $810. Prior to this deal, about a month within launching, we managed to amass a network of about 180 athletes. This was with no marketing campaigns or marketing spend. Since the deal, we've been able to build this network, and this opened the opportunities and further deals that we can work with. As student athletes ourselves, Mark and I truly understand the difficulties of being an athlete. That is why we strive to provide maximum value, not only for the athletes, the businesses that we work with, but also for all of our athletes. Between long practices and classes, it's very difficult for athletes to find the time to work or make additional money. Opt for You is an opportunity to monetize their lifestyle and make some extra cash on the side. Likewise, for brands, we provide a direct pipeline into an almost entirely untapped market of unique micro-influencers.
There are currently 480,000 NCAA athletes in the United States, but this number is constantly changing and growing due to the graduating class and the incoming freshman recruits.
Given the recency of the emergence of this market, it's very difficult to put an exact number on the sheer capitalization potential that it has. Luckily, we can reference a few analogical markets to get a better understanding of where that number could be. These are the pro-athlete sponsorship and social influencer marketing markets. In the US alone, pro-athlete sponsorships totaled $16.4 billion in 2021. In the same year, social influencer marketing spend surpassed $4 billion. If we take just 1% of these two markets, we have a potential $200 million industry.
This is the first year this opportunity is available. Because of this, most athletes have not had any exposure for brand deals, and most brands have not had the opportunity to work with NCAA athletes. The time to act is now.
Thank you.
Thank you both, and certainly appreciate the time and effort in framing the opportunity and the storytelling of somebody who wasn't a collegiate athlete, but was an enthusiast and still am. I mean, I can definitely appreciate where we are now as it relates to the earning potential for those that are worthy. So I have just two quick questions. And as somebody that's worked in the sports marketing department at PepsiCo for a few years, this is something that is pretty adjacent to my interests and my career path. The caliber of brands and services that you'll all be targeting, are they more, would you consider them early stage, of these national brands? How are you differentiating the approach between one and the other? And then my second question is, what is your approach to lead generation and establishing those relationships? Because there's a lot of other budding organizations and companies that are have, quite honestly, a very similar value proposition. So relationships and establishing those are pretty important.
So to the first question, I would say we target all brands. So essentially, the target market that we provide for these brands is not only the athletic and kind of sports market through the athletes, but also college athletes cater to the college audience as a whole. So any brand that sells a product or service that they want to cater, that they want to sell to college age students, that's the brands who we provide, who we kind of have an opportunity for. And then, so again, this could be a huge company like Pepsi who want to sell more to colleges or on college campuses, or it could be a small startup brand that wants to sell their clothes or whatever it is. And to answer your other question, kind of like you said, there are obviously a lot of sports agencies and sports marketing companies that are doing similar things. But the thing is, most of those companies work with pro athletes, and there's very limited, since this is such a new space, not a lot of companies have had the opportunity to work with collegiate athletes. And the ones that do work with, again, since this has passed, have been working with the stars. What we're doing is we're working with the other kind of 99% that don't really have the following to work with these big brands. And regarding leads, obviously our customer isn't the athlete, it's the brand and the business. So it's all about, like, what we do is we reach out to these brands and we show them what we can do. We show kind of what kind of engagement we're getting, and that's our tool to
collect those leads. Yeah. Going back to your first question, for a college athlete who doesn't have time to practice rest of the balance school, $30 is a lot of money and a free product to post an Instagram post. So we would never limit the athlete to any brand that we can get. Whatever company wants to work with us, we're willing to email it out to every single athlete we have, because that $30 could buy someone lunch in a day, or it makes their lives easier.
No, that was good stuff. I appreciate you guys and taking your time to do this. It's an obvious need for me. I've been in this space. Like, I understand the universities and the problems, and especially the students that don't have to follow them to get the grants. I totally get that. It seems like an obvious fit to me. My question is why, I have a couple questions. Why 36%?
So basically what we're doing is we have a double commission model. So when we're making that, we're in that negotiation with the brand, they'll establish a price that they're willing to pay in total, or they might say they want 50 athletes and they're willing to pay a certain amount per athlete. So we charge a 20% commission for the acquisition fee, the athlete acquisition fee from the brand. And then we also charge a 20% commission to the athletes, like before they get paid out. But the second 20% is off of the amount that we get from the brand.
So you do both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Second question is, how are you going to reach more athletes? What's your kind of rollout plan for that? What's your marketing plan for that?
So essentially, and kind of exactly what we saw after our first deal is the best part about the college athlete community is that it's very integrated and it's a very big community, and it's a very big sense of community. So all college athletes know other college athletes and have friends at other schools that are college athletes. So how it works is, as we get these deals rolling out, you're going to see athletes that aren't part of our network. They see their friends are posting deals. They're going to ask them, oh, like, how did you do this? Because again, for an athlete that has 1,000 or 2,000 followers, they don't have the deals coming to them like the big stars. So when they see these deals being posted, that's going to be their inclination to sign up for our network. And again, our barrier of entry is very little. All that athlete has to do to sign up to our network is fill out a 30-second form and they're in. They don't have to do anything else. And on top of that, we could also, obviously in the future, we're going to run marketing campaigns through social media.
So can we turn to slide 6? So this is the one before that. Yeah, so this is an example of one of the Instagram posts that an athlete would make. And at the end of every post, he would say, thank you, for bringing me this amazing opportunity. And this way, the other athletes see that they're getting it through us, and they go on our Instagram, they click the link, and sign up in 30 seconds. And athletes all know each other, they look at their Instagram, they're going to sign up right from that.
Gotcha. I would consider some real sales channels through there to really get to the athletes, because I feel like the organic kind of growth idea might not meet your expectations. Just quite honestly, I really think you could be like, what are the outlets? How exactly are we going to talk to the people? Ads, one thing, but how else are we going to do it through partnerships or through other channels? I'd really consider thinking about that. One more thing, I know my time's almost up. So what are your two goals, just out of curiosity?
So we're the only ones. So we basically
built it.
We did it together.
Nice. You guys are okay. Nice.
Yeah, we're teammates.
Got you. You guys built it together. The technology,
everything.
Yeah. And then we brought it to one of our friends who designed a website for us, and we started building there. We started emailing out, cold emailing brands, and then they responded to us. We got our first brand deal with Foundry. And ever since then, the athletes have grown, and we've been talking to our brands and it's
got you. One more question. How many athletes right now do you guys have?
180.
Nice. And brands, if any?
One. So yeah,
nice.
That was our first deal. We launched 2 months ago, so
nice.
It's just right.
Nice. Okay, cool.
I guess my first question is, the micro brands for, even for professional, lack of a better term, second-tier athletes or the other 99% deals, is that exists for professional players, like the lower, again, not to be insulting, but the lower tier players in the professional space? Because you're saying that having lower followings, but more of a greater number of lower known players is a better marketing strategy, right? Does that exist in the pro space?
So not necessarily. Also because in the pro space, the limitations are very different. Like when an athlete's a part of a professional team, they have like whatever that team's contracts are, those athletes are very limited compared to college athletes. In college, obviously each school has their own sponsorships, and the athletes can't really interfere with them, but also athletes are their own personal brand. And the thing is, it doesn't necessarily scale the same way so when you're working with the college athletes, your goal is not necessarily to sell a product or sell your service. What the 50 college athletes are going to do is give you brand awareness and give you reach. And that's what we're selling to brands. So it's not the cost associated with doing the same thing with a pro athlete would be too high because they're pro athletes for that to scale into like the pro athlete world.
Okay, and also I guess how do you profile athletes for vendors to figure out who they want?
So when we're working with the company, they'll tell us. So for example, if a company might cater only to tall people or only to a specific gender, or only maybe it's a company that's geographically lodged to some specific region, we have all that information in our database. So if they tell us they want only athletes who go to college in the Northeast or who are from the Northeast, then we'll give them that demographic of athletes. If they want only tall athletes, they'll get only tall athletes. If they want only football players, they'll get only football players. So whatever specific categories or specific criteria / demographic the brand wants is what we'll provide to them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alfred. Our next presenter will be Teresa Dolan from Easily.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Teresa Donlin, and today I will be pitching you Easily. The COVID-19 pandemic forever changed the landscape of healthcare as we know it. During this time, we saw the rise of virtual, innovative platforms such as Zoom Meeting and Amazon Fresh. Yet still, we participated in this antiquated system of testing. What if I told you never had to wait in a long line and wait the 3 to 5 business days to receive your test results? What if I told you that you could use a device that fits in the palm of your hand to streamline the entire testing process? Introducing Easily's electronic testing device that connects via Bluetooth to your phone, enabling users to perform self-administered tests and receive results on an easy, navigable app interface. So how does this work? Your friend calls you up and tells you that she's contracted COVID-19. What do? You use Easily's medical grade swab and swab your nose. Simply click the top portion of the swab, which will saturate the cotton absorbent portion with the extraction buffer. Simply place the swab into the device where it will interact with the contents of the cartridge. Now the testing process has begun. And in a short period of time, you will be notified that the testing process is complete and your results will be sent to an app interface where you can upload to school platforms, business platforms, anywhere that you are required to upload your results. Now, this is a one-time purchase, but a lifetime investment, and will allow you to perform a multitude of tests. While this is a one-time purchase, you will need to replenish your supply of solution as well as the swabs. Easily aspires to be 100% sustainably produced. Besides COVID-19 testing, Easily intends to expand into flu testing, strep throat testing, pregnancy testing, and drug testing, just to name a few. The app interface, it's simple in nature, and the fact that it's easy to navigate will allow just about anyone to use it. And its intuitive app interface facilitates this. Before the product is brought to market, we will have the device medically approved so that you can have the foreknowledge that your tests are medically viable. There will be a dashboard feature available to businesses, and your results will be uploaded in the typical PDF format that we have become accustomed to. This is the beta design for the app, and as I mentioned before, it's simple in nature, but easy to navigate, allowing just about anyone to use it. The consumer audience. Easily is designed for everyone. It's for the fast-paced businessman or woman in the city. It's for the guy or gal on the go. Easily would be seen in schools and high-density work environments. Additionally, our customer base could extend to nursing homes, school nurses' offices, and pharmacy retailers. Marketing easily. So we will market easily through digital advertising, pamphlets, and partnerships with medical professionals. And here's a sample of a possible post by Easily. So these are conservative estimates based on off of my research. We have the device at around $75 to $90. The swabs, 10 for 20, 40 for 100. The reagent solution and primer solution, which will go into the cartridge of the device, around $18 and $13. And we intend to have different rates when selling commercially. So let's put this into context. Your workplace requires that you take 2 COVID tests per month, just 2 sporadic tests. So with the Walgreens rapid test costing $23.99 and you're taking 2 tests per month, that would bring you to around $576 per year. But with Easily, you can get the device, the solutions, and the swabs for a grand total of $172. That's a savings of around $404 per year. The future of Easily is promising as the primer solution and the cartridge allows for the versatility of the device to expand into other testings, particularly as we're seeing the emergence of viruses and viral mutations. Additionally, Easily intends to expand into the pharmacy with a pharmacy refill system and also to sell the device as well as the swabs in pharmacy retailers. And lastly, Easily hopes to integrate an e-prescribing feature into its app. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Teresa, for that presentation. I'd like to kick off the questions with Richie Cruz.
Teresa, thank you for that, and congrats on the great presentation. One question for me: how would you define in detail your target consumer?
My target consumer. So I would be selling to pharmacies, wholesale to pharmacy retailers. But really, one of the things that would differentiate Easily from something like Q Health is the fact that it's affordable. I want this to be something that everyone can use. And while it doesn't have like a virtual platform so you can talk to a doctor 24/7, this is just to make testing easier. So it's really for anyone. It's someone, you know, in a rural area where it's miles and miles to get to a testing center.
Got it. So the customer would be the pharmacies and medical providers and others that are in that category, but the addressable audience is essentially anyone that is susceptible to, say, illness.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a remote healthcare device. So I mean, healthcare pertains to anyone, but there would be 2 avenues really we could take, which would be the business to consumer and business to business, which is something, it's something that I like to participate in both, but yes.
And actually, last question. As you led with COVID-19 being the one of the, I guess we'll call it the need state that we're solving for, that's going to help deliver a successful market entry. As attitudes change towards COVID and you know, it just becomes part of daily life, how do you see that affecting the value proposition and your communication plan?
Yes, so that was one of the big things that when I was developing this, I of course didn't want a product that would be obsolete soon. So that's why Easily is concentrated into expanding into other types of testing. And the testing I listed is like diagnostic nucleic acid, but potentially we could go into other types of testing besides nucleic acid testing. Yes.
One, good energy. I love the energy you came out with. You killed that. What's your background?
I'm an accounting major, I'm a sophomore. The whole STEM, this was not the direction I thought I was going in, but I found myself here.
So who built this, like a prototype now, like where's it at right now?
I don't have a
Just
functional
concept,
prototype at this time, but I have the designs, I've drawn it out, and I've done the research.
Got you. Anybody thought about like a team or anything?
While I'm up here alone, I've talked with engineering majors, math majors, marketing majors, economic majors, the whole lot. I've also reached out to a family friend who was a nurse in the ER. So I've gotten a lot of feedback, and obviously, yes, I need to build a team.
Right. So what kind of partnerships, basically, like you were saying, like have you thought about them? Have you narrowed down like these exactly the partnerships I need to start going after and how you're gonna reach them?
The actual way to reach them, I've identified that I need to forge relationships with pharmacy retailers. And I also realize I need to forge relationships with medical professionals to bolster the legitimacy of the actual device as is viable.
Yeah, and my last question is, who are some of the competitors here? Who are some of the people that are doing it right that you saw? You're like, oh, they're doing it right.
Yeah, so the only, the major competitor I saw was Q Health. There's a lot of rapid tests, PCR tests. It's a very saturated market, but the element where it's connected to your mobile device and you're able to send your results, that the main competitor, the one I found, was Q Health. And they're doing it on a little bit of a grander scale because they have some other features. So it brings you to around like over $600 per year. But like, as I said, a big something that's important to easily is the affordability aspect. Like we want to democratize high sensitivity, accurate testing.
Hi, I actually have medical devices in my portfolio and evaluate some of this stuff. It seems you kind of skimmed over the technology part, which is kind of important.
Okay.
Given the accuracy and the competition for that, I mean, PCR is not even as accurate as people think. Okay.
Yes, so this would be using NAT technology, nucleic acid amplification technology. So that's PCR-like. And the cartridge is where is the site of the reaction. So you're using a reagent solution and a primer solution. The primer solution would be test specific. So there's going to be a different primer solution for each test you take. And so the test will occur inside the cartridge, and then there will be a concentration threshold which a chip will identify, because this is just going to be binary testing. So if that variable is identified, then it's like 0 or 1, goes through as positive or negative.
Did biosim technologies come under your evaluations out of Massachusetts?
Can you pronounce it? Say it again, please.
Biosymbiotics.
Biosymbiotics. I did not come across biosymbiotics.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry for being late. There were absolutely no trains downtown, and I had to take a city bike part of the way here, so it's a good thing. It looked like Forrest Gump trying to get here. So I apologize for being late, and I missed a decent chunk of this, but as a result of being female trying to get into biotech, we all know, especially with the dropout that just came out, how as a woman you have to work extra hard, X10, X20, X100 to make sure no one comes around and saying, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? The one thing I always teach is going out into the market, and all the data and all the research don't do anything unless you go up to a pharmacist at a slow time and talk to them. And I'm just curious, have you taken that time? And I apologize if you've covered that, but have you gone to pharmacists or even the people at the counter asking them, do they have the time, do they have the bandwidth, do they have the capability to actually put this into motion?
When it comes to like surveying that, I haven't gone in that direction per se, but I've definitely surveyed people in regards to frustration when it comes to testing and contact tracing and surveillance testing and the inconvenience of it in their daily life, and how something like this, where you can take a test and have your results received in like around under the course of half an hour and be able to upload it to whatever platform you need, is something that most people have found attractive. When it comes to actually talking with employees in pharmacies, I've not reached that step.
Yeah, I've just found that most people don't have bandwidth to have anything explained to them. And if it doesn't click right away, they will cart abandon, product abandon, everything abandon. So more than just being able to say that they'll understand it and they want it, I think figuring out and sitting down with a layman of someone who wouldn't have the patience to see how they would put this to task might be something you consider, because those are the people who would probably need this more than anyone.
Yes, and also besides like selling through pharmacies, easily would intend to have like an e-commerce website so they can sell direct to consumer besides, you know, through pharmacy retailers. Thank you.
Next group up. Is Fun History by Gigi Du.
Last year, I taught history in high school. I love history, but my students find it boring, so I did a research. It's shocking that 2 out of every 3 students are bored in history class. Not only is it their least favorite course, only 15% of the 9th graders scored proficient in US history. At the same time, there are so many students playing video games. Therefore, I want to build a connection between education and entertainment to make learning more enjoyable. Our solution is to turn history books into first-person adventures where students can interact with historical figures and complete mission-oriented story quests. I am Yi Xiaodu, the content designer of this team. Our team advisor works in MiHoYo Gaming Company. We collaborate with NYU award-winning game design team.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jing Yulong, a current student in NYU. Our team Fun History collaborates with Historical Society at Fordham University, and we receive technical support and resources from MiHoYo Developer Program. Recently, we reached out to these value-aligned programmers, and they are very excited. These are our mentors, and they are history professors who are actively advising on how our stories are told. And these are our programmers, and they share the same value with us, and they are very passionate and excited to be part of the project. Fun History sits at the intersection of entertainment, education, and 3D character design. One of our biggest advantages is that we don't have to make up characters because we already have existing historical figures and their lifetime stories to tell.
What really set us apart is that we immerse learners to regional cultures by using realistic locations and sceneries. We allow users to explore the places that they've never been to before. We also host cultural festivals and celebrations to give users a realistic view of the local traditions.
The food elements in our game allow users to try out new ingredients and preferences of the locals. Based on the slide, we can see that there are 9 million high schoolers who are addicted to mobile games, and the education game market is expected to grow by almost 90%. Based on this age segmentation of US video gamers, we decided to market on 2 types of users, students and non-students who are under the age of 34. By reaching out to value-aligned learning centers such as Kumon and well-funded innovative schools, we plan to first reach out to passionate students and let them to test out our game, then further collaborate with the institutions. Based on the popularity of live streaming, we decided to collaborate with, we decided to market to non-student users by collaborating with influential gamers and popular streaming platforms. One in particular we chose is Twitch. Based on the graph, we can see that there is a significant viewership on a 7-day average period. And our strategy is to contrast streamers who rank after 30. In this case, we are able to reduce our marketing costs while covering a stable range of watch hours.
All of our subscribers pay an annual fee to support our operation. And as you can see, the price we have for educational platform is different based on the number of users they have. And by using this model, we'll be able to generate an annual recurring revenue. Our additional revenue stream come from our characters. We distinguish our 4 stars and 5 stars based on their historical significance. All of our characters are 3D with human body motion system design. And these motions include walking, running, sprinting, jumping, landing, rolling, climbing, falling, and gliding. From our data chart and graph later, you can see that we're not expecting to gain much profit for the first 2 years because gaming project has a higher fixed cost and comparatively lower variable cost. And so that our exponential equation leads to higher profit after year 3. Then we'll reinvest 25% of this profit back to other areas of project like theme music, battle music for different regions and cultures. To invest in fun history is to invest in future generation leaders.
In a time of crisis of COVID and Ukraine war,
we need today and future leaders to learn history to deal with current realities. Thank you.
Hi, this was really exciting. I think everybody needs to be more excited about history. I have a few questions. So you said this is meant for students under 34, which makes this demographic really gray and nebulous. Also, I think you need to take into consideration who these students are, where they go to school. Public schools worldwide don't have budgets, so I think perhaps pull that out of your budget to think that schools will spend that money, because under 34 is fast. So is this university? Is this elementary? Is this middle? Is this high school? Is this a meta universe? And I think the term is called edutainment, edutainment. So perhaps looking in terms of a competitive analysis of who else is doing that. And I love what you're doing. I'm just concerned based on where you think your profitability potentially lies, especially when the demographic doesn't seem to be clear, at least not to me.
Thank you so much for your question. That's the first important question we discussed when we ran an Airbnb to work on this with our teammate Purdue University. So we have a customer segmentation, and just to clarify, we're focusing on high school students aged under 18 and non-students aged below 34 from the chart earlier. But to elaborate on that, we are doing this as a mobile game because as the popularity seems like all the gamers tend to prefer mobile game more. And to be more specific, and the students aged around 13 to 18 also prefer to play on mobile. And to elaborate teenager spending, the schools we wanted to focus on is like the well-funded either private schools or rural schools that are innovative and that share the same value with us, so they are more happy to purchase programs like this. And
is that an assumption, or do you have facts to back that up?
Currently, there are a lot of private schools that we reach out to and share our project. And we also reach out to parents, also parents of Fordham University, in fact, and they are very surprised of this kind of option for learning for the students that are Gen Z. And as we can see, if they're not in like a school that's well funded, they can use the previous model for a price, which is around 19 per year, sorry. And this is a spending average, which range from 10 to 100, and this is their spending per month. So they have the money to purchase our game as an individual player. And even so, we are focusing the adult gamers who are also part of our customers under age of 43, and their spending per month range from 84 to 61. This allowed them to have the money not only to pay for our subscriber fee, but also to buy character, which come out around once every 3 months from our storyline.
I think there's a lot to this. My concern is that positioning it, I think you need to work on the name Fun History, because like school, there's a negative connotation. So perhaps come up with something more exciting, so to make it sound more entertainment and less academic, because I don't know any child that will want to spend time on something academic in their free time while their kids are shooting things. And in addition, especially, I have a range of kids within that in all 3 schools, kindergarten, middle, and high school. And I'm trying to see how I personally could justify as a parent spending that money unless there's a way to sell it back to my child.
Thank you so much. I think that's a great suggestion. We should work on our name to make more kids acceptable, especially kids after Gen Z. And just to elaborate on that, you said, why would a kid want to play a game like our game? So we have an equation to make sure that our learners have a better experience. And honestly, we started this project because we want to make sure that learning and studying can be combined. Like you are concerned that they're spending too much? Yeah, thank you. And as she said earlier, by reaching out to school, we're going to test these games on students for free. So they can try out the game first and see whether they want to play it if their school is not buying it for them, or if their parents are not buying it for them.
Definitely will work on the name Fun History. Yeah, thank you so much for the suggestion.
Just one quick question regarding the product, which I don't think we saw enough of. But curious to understand any user feedback from your initial pool of customers or users that have trialed the product. And then also just a little bit of clarity on the curriculums that you're modeling into the game. And obviously history is a very vast category. I personally think it's a great opportunity to tell stories for marginalized groups that aren't represented in current academia on a day-to-day basis, but feedback first and foremost, how just usability, any other general themes that you're seeing as you spend time with your customers.
Definitely. I'm going to get aside. So the first thing I want to answer is how accurate and what resources we based on. So the curriculum we're facing is AP US World History. So this is AP book, recommended textbook is what all high schoolers use to get either high school or college credit. And so all these books are a credit, and we're going to use that and find the highlights and the most important time periods of that so that we can benefit students from playing our game. They can actually use it in their class. And to be more specific, one thing we find very interesting is that the map keeps on changing due to country conquering one another and also human discoveries. So we also want to make it very accurate so that this can be actually helpful to them. And you also mentioned that what the game looked like more. So this is one small sample. This is a Jade Dragon Snow Mountain in China, and I find it. We wanted to make this as a sample because this is when first Westerners discovered this village and its culture. And when they discovered, there's a French author that wrote a book about it, which is very detailed and about all the regional interests. And from here, we're going to pick highlights of this book, look like the missing book pages on those among the mountain path. And then later on, the users will also be able to interact with locals to ask about their stories and how they're living, and also to get a see of how the local architecture or just how the sceneries look like. And there's also like an emphasis on temperature, which because it's a snow mountain, and the local ingredients they can use to cook in the pot.
Well, and actually one question related to intellectual property. A lot of the stories and books that you reference are in the public domain, or so you have the rights to use the authors and the names and likeness of those.
Yeah, thank you so much for your question. To clarify, well, we want to mention policy in China right now that is affecting a lot of the game company. So now you can only play 3 hours a week if you are under the age of 18. And as mentioned in the beginning, we are receiving technical support from a game called MiHoYo, which is based on China. And they're losing so much gamers under age of 18 because they're not allowed to play anymore. There's no way to go around that. There will be facial recognition, they just can't play it. And so now they're welcoming university students like us to work on to change all the characters to realistic historical figures, and also to change all the tasks or story quests to actually realistic events.
Thank you for the history. Next group up will be Valor. Again, Valor.
Thank you. Well, hello everyone. I hope everybody's had an amazing day. Today we would like to introduce you to Valor, a sustainable beauty brand that not only takes care of your skin, but also embraces diversity. Our vision here at Valor is to be able to develop formulations that with high performance technology that not only are able to incorporate sustainable ingredients, but they are also safe. Our mission is to be able to be fully committed and fully dedicated to show transparency on each of our products. First of all, I would like to introduce the team. My name is Guadalupe Samata, and I'm a chemical engineering student. I'm at Hart College, and I'm the founder and CEO, and I take in charge of the product development at Valor.
My name is Precious Adegoke. I'm a management major here at Manhattan College, and I take charge of the distribution management of Valor.
There has been a recurring problem in the beauty industry. A lot of these products not fully transparent. They do not show a transparency of each of the ingredients because they do not have a direct contact with their suppliers. A lot of people feel lost and confused when they want to start a skincare routine. And for people with highly sensitive skin, such as melasma, rosacea, as well as eczema, are not able to find suitable products that will accelerate the healing process of their skincare condition. The solution for this problem is us. Here at Valor, we're able to develop high-performance formulations that not only incorporates high-performance materials and sustainable, we also incorporate safe ingredients from different countries. And we're also able to have a direct contact with each supplier that allow us to have a full transparency of what we put in our products. To start, we would like to introduce our first product. We have some samples, so if you can take a look. We have the Sacha Inchi Oil Face Serum as well as the Ultra Rich Cream. We use Sacha Inchi oil in which we import this native product from Peru. We use the oil to enable to incorporate in our formulations to be able to extract the vitamin A and E from Sacha Inchi as well as the omega-3, 6, and 9, which allows the repair of the skin barrier. Our second product is more custom-made for highly sensitive skin conditions such as melasma, rosacea, as well as eczema. We have the Manuka ointment treatment as well as the ultra hydrating primer. We use Manuka ointment treatment because it allows, it controls the itchiness of each of the skin conditions such as eczema and rosacea. It helps the hydration process and also accelerates the healing process. And we have the hydrating primer that allows a 24-hour hydration on the skin. And these products are currently being developed and already marketed.
During the course of our research, we needed to know the amount of people living in the US with skin conditions. And we realized there was a 62.5% of people living with eczema, a 27.7% with rosacea, and a 9.9% with melasma. And then we needed to know the population, or we needed to know the generation of people who are interested in clean products that are sustainable, that support recycling, and also adhere to their health and wellness. And with our graph, you can see we have over 70% of people interested in all of these factors that brought about Valor. For our business model, we divided our expenses into three: the research and development, marketing, and our regular business expenses. We also have an estimated cost for 250 products that cost a total of $1,000 in our cost of production. For our revenue stream, we have the e-commerce website. Now we chose the e-commerce website because it gives us the freedom to be able to track our demographics of sale from our customers. And we also are running pay-per-click ads on Amazon, which means we are open to see a lot of customers on Amazon who are ready to buy products once they are on the app. We have three distribution strategies. We have Amazon, also Sephora and Macy's, and our own distribution software. Now, Amazon and distribution software is something we're going to be running by ourselves, and we plan on going into Ulta, Sephora, and Macy's by submitting a product profile, which we'll get approved for, and then we have our product on their shelves.
Our marketing strategy follows with social media. We have Instagram algorithms, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook ads. Also micro-influencers marketing, where we send them PR packages that allows us to have a natural growth in the company. We also have collaborations with influencer beauty salons and spas. We have a B2C marketing strategy where we use Amazon marketing services as well as email newsletters, content creation where we make our own tutorials as well as live streams, and we emphasize our mission and also our uniqueness of what stands out of our company. The bigger market competitors as of right now is the Honest Company, which they follow a sustainable and also ethical value of production in the beauty industry, but they have not yet entered the organic ingredients formulations. Next, with Biosense Beauty, the main ingredient that they use is esqualene, but they have not yet entered the market with such an inchi oil. And our biggest competitor as of right now is the Body Shop, because they have their formulations with organic ingredients, but we have the advantage that they have not yet entered the market with such an inchi oil. Here at Valor, we want to give back to our community. We want to globalize the economy, and we want to make Peru to be our biggest and largest supplier of such an inchi oil to help them raise the standards of living, as well as moving forward with a fully biodegradable packaging and partner up with companies that have plant-based materials for our packaging design. And most importantly, we want to be able to employ underpaid workers in the United States. Thank you so much, and we're ready for any questions.
Do you have any hair products?
We are working on it.
I guess, how do you test for safety?
Each of these products, first we test the supply, if it has to be, how we're gonna formulate it. And then after that, we gotta test how the formulation works, doing sensory analysis and also having our panelists to test that.
I think there's a lot more competition than the three listed on the.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I love the way you guys covered a lot of the angles, which I thought was really good and really well thought out, especially on the marketing side. You just go to one angle or two angles, you went and cut out all the angles, you gave us a thought. So I really did like that. My question is, at least so far, because you guys did cover a lot, what has been your biggest challenge and what do you see as your biggest areas?
The biggest challenge as of right now is patenting the formulas. We have to move at a faster pace because there are bigger brands that will come and take our formulation, and we run the risk of partnering with other companies and then take our what we created. Also, since I am an intern for several of the largest beauty companies, I know how to they manage that part. So I would say the biggest challenge right now is the patent and like coming up with all of this.
On the team side, what do you guys need right now?
Right now, we are looking on the kind of strategize the marketing part. We want to have a solid marketing strategy that will and build a business team that will take care of that, while myself focus on the product development and also Precious focusing on the distribution channels that we want to target.
So I've been teaching entrepreneurship for almost 8 years, and every semester I have a student group that comes up with this exact kind of product, something that's sustainable, something that's diversity based, something that's ethical. So I'm concerned that, as he said, it is hedging towards a very oversaturated market. So I'm concerned that this oil of which you're speaking, that it would have a strong enough USP for your intended consumer to buy into. So my concern is in terms of your go-to-market strategy, how do you plan on getting it to these influencers? A, when you don't have a budget, and B, how are you going to sell them on it when it's a beauty product? So are you looking to do before and after? So how are you planning on tackling that?
So what sets us apart is using the Segmentation oil. We have a direct contact with providers from Peru. I was born and raised in Peru. I have direct contact with all of them, and that's why I want to make them the largest supplier. And also importing them as well. I have the contacts in
which you need to sell the customer on the USP of what this result is. So I think that's a bigger hurdle.
Yeah, that's one of the problems that we are looking into further, and also kind of tackling that on the distribution strategy that goes into how are we going to import that, how are we going to sell it here as well. And
so we also have PR packages for influencers. So since we don't have a clear budget right now on how much it's going to cost. We decided to go by a micromanaged way by giving them PR packages where they can advertise the product for us and then they get incentives from it.
They don't do that for free.
Yeah, they don't do that for free. That's why we have the PR packages where they do it and then they get incentives, like it's certain percentage from the sale that comes through from the website, and then that percentage goes to them.
I think affiliate marketing in your mix is going to be very important, and other non-traditional lower cost investments like podcasts, because I think testimonials, especially with product that is, you know, the usability and the overall experience is very visceral. It's part of my identity, right? And I think that's what you're selling here. You know, hearing testimonials to help build trust and just inspire initial trial. I think it's also important as you continue to go to market, understanding the relationship between trial and repeat, and seeing where there's going to be drop off after, you know, consumers sample for the first time. So just some thoughts. I think the team here addressed some of my questions, but I'm personally drawn to the purpose aspect, the sustainability underpinning of the brand. So good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Last but not least, our last group presenting will be Amazonian.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elsie Dema, and if you couldn't tell, I stand before you 6 feet tall. I literally have to search the ethers of the earth just to find clothes that fit. I have tried every trick in the book to try to look as normal as possible in clothes that seldom keep tall women in mind. And when I was growing up, I used to honestly believe that I just couldn't afford tall clothing. So I promised myself that one day when I got my big girl job, I would be able to leave those high waters behind and keep my ankles warm in the wintertime. Born and raised in New York, you know it gets cold out here. Then years after having my big girl job, I noticed that no matter what I was willing to spend, clothes that would fit my height and my physique were still practically non-existent. So for an industry that just loves to idolize tall women, retail caters to the masses, and unfortunately, that just does not include tall women like me. So the average US woman is about 5'4", which is quite the difference from myself. And although women 5'9" and up make up less than 5%, there's still 6.5 million tall women out there who need to get their clothes from somewhere, who need to get them from me. So I actually conducted a survey and I found the following for tall women shopping experiences. So about 82% stated inseam as the most difficult part. They just don't come long enough if you even see the inseam shown at all. About 70% said it was fit, and then about 48% stated price. So a recurring pattern in the comments section revealed that in-person shopping is a total waste of time. True tall sizes are virtually only available online. Inseam is not provided for women as it is for men. Tall clothes on average is considerably more expensive, and tall women shopping has contributed to disappointment, self-hate, and discomfort in their own skin. And thus I present to you Amazonian, a tall women specific cut and sew apparel line. So I will be working with designers to kind of help me bring my designs and colors and dreams to life. Not only will Amazonian focus on inseam and other common pain points, but also conforming material to flatter our different tall curves. And we'll finally offer the try before you buy experience that tall women have been waiting for. So think of it like a series of pop-up showrooms. The events will be promoted in tall specific social groups. So I'm going to launch in New York City and LA as my test markets. So upon arrival to the event, you'll be measured, guided to a section to try on clothes in a collection. You can place an order, and then you'll receive your shipment with confidence that it'll actually fit because you got to try it out. Unable to attend a pop-up, customers can opt to enroll in a subscription in which they will be able to bring the tribe before you commit to a purchase experience to the comfort of their own homes. So very similar to Prime Wardrobe, or you can just purchase directly from Amazonian's website. So major players in this space are exclusively online retailers with no way of trying on your clothes before you buy them. So Amazonian events and subscription services will give customers that confidence to purchase clothes they know will fit with the touch of that highly desired in-person shopping experience that we've been lacking. So Amazonian will also take back eligible items for resale on the Tall Thrift. So when a customer makes a purchase, it will register in their app. They'll select which item they want to resell. They'll upload appropriate photos. And then once there's a buyer, the sales proceeds will be credited to that user's account so that they can purchase future items. So as far as marketing is concerned, I do want to take 3 different avenues. So I'm hoping to grow organically through content creation via blogging and vlogging. I'm hoping to build a relationship with my consumers since I suffer from a lot of the problems that they'll be facing. I do also want to go the paid ads route with social and Google ads. And then I identified specific influencers that I would like to work with who have a really decent following. So after connecting with a few manufacturers and learning more about some of the minimum order quantities, the cost to produce about 4,200 units in my first year, I expect to get revenue about 439,000. Then second year, I hope to produce 9,722 units, increasing revenue to 975,000. And then by year 3, I do hope to produce 23,333 units and increasing revenue to a little over 2 million. So thank you so much for your time. Please help me clothe my people. I welcome all and any questions.
Right, so your energy is incredible. I think we can all collectively agree that, you know, we all might not be tall, but we all want to be with you. So there's that. So I'm feeling that. I actually have a student group of mine this semester that's focusing specifically on shoes for tall people, because that is the biggest issue of suffering of the 9+.
Yes.
A handful of comments. One, anything that could have a negative connotation, potentially like Amazonian, you know, you are coming from a mentality of being a marginalized group, right? You're not being looked after. So you have to look at the plus and the minus. Like, could Amazonian have a negative impact? Like, mom jeans are cool now, but would Amazonian not be? So you should perhaps think longer term. Also, retail is a disaster and it is a losing business. So perhaps, I don't understand exactly what you were speaking of. Units, are you talking jackets, pants, t-shirts, bras?
Yes.
So I think perhaps because retail is so problematic that perhaps think of 3 items, because right now, what you're doing right now is an item, it's a SKU, it's not a collection, it's not a brand, it's not a business. So perhaps pick 3 things, like, am I just focusing on jeans? What is the denim? What is the cut? Is there stretch?
Absolutely.
You know, is it just jean jackets? Also tall people running in multiple sizes.
Absolutely.
So anything with sizes, you're running a bigger issue to potentially have more returns, which means that as soon as it comes back to you, like a car, you lose money off of it. Now you have to resell it as used. So I think these are just some things you should take into consideration of really refining who your customer is and what does she or he, or they potentially need the most and what they're willing to spend that money on, because this is not, you're making this a need, not a want. So clarify that a bit more, because to me, I think it's there, but I need to extrapolate more information of what this is about.
Absolutely. I'm really glad you brought that up, because I was thinking, okay, like, what is the need? And just based on the survey data, the need right now is denim pants. So that is what I wanted to launch with.
I think she beat me to the question on product mix and assortment and then the life cycle of the SKUs. But first of all, yes, your energy is infectious, and you know, shout out to getting it this far. Just one note on the name. Obviously, it's something that is top of mind and has established context. But as you get into the technical aspect of a go-to-market plan, Amazon and Amazonian are very close to one another. So you don't want to cannibalize your effort before you have a chance to enter the market. Just a question, just for clarity, how much would you be willing or would you need to invest in marketing in like the first 18 months from launch?
Sure. So one of the things I would love to add to my team is someone from marketing, but just doing research on my own, I'm thinking that I would need to invest probably close to 11,000 in my first year to get to the sales numbers that I'm looking for. So hopefully someone who is a better marketer than myself could clarify if that would work for me or not, but that's just me running my own initial numbers.
Amazing job, Juan. Two, retail is not my specialty, but I do love the niche. I love that there's like a niche in this space that you can kind of like position yourself to tackle. My number one question is on the technology. You showed the app before. Is that something that's just in concept? Is that something that you've thought about, just design, have a team? What is that like right now?
So this is just a concept. So I just did like a rough wireframe, but I'm hoping to get something similar to this out there.
As far as the team goes, is it just you right now?
Right now it's just me.
So, I'm gonna keep it short for that.
Thank you.
Good segue about keeping it short, because I have the opposite problem. So I'm like 200 pounds, like 5'6", so I have the opposite problem that you're addressing, which is maybe another niche you can go into. You know what the return for clothing is on e-commerce?
Well, based on the research I did, I heard it was probably around 10%.
40.
Oh, is it even higher? Woo. Well, not my clothes, because it'll actually fit before you.
So given that number, what percentage of customers do you think will actually be able to try it before they buy it?
So given that number, I mean, obviously it's going to be tough because I am only going to start in New York City and LA, and I'm only planning on doing one pop-up per quarter to start. So my plan of action was ideally to promote it the way I would promote it at events. So you're coming out to an event to try on clothes. So based on that number, I'm actually not sure how many returns I would get.
It may get closer to 40 than 10. This is my I guess, first point. Number two, there's a lot of technology for using a phone app to actually get measurements. No, measure.
Oh, no, it's in-person measurements.
No, I'm saying that there's a lot of technology that you can actually use a phone app to actually measure yourself, that it's made to measure, so you can actually decrease the returns versus just trying to depend on people that show up and there's a certain lack of scalability for people that showing up at pop-ups, regardless of how large the city is.
That is a very good point. I think it also comes down to aligning that with the actual sizing. Because I think that just clothing in general, there's a misalignment between sizing when people order online. And that's one of the things that I would want to bring closer together so that I would be able to avoid that.
That's what those apps do. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the clicker. Again, thank you to all of the groups that presented today. Thank you to Green Acre Exchange, the Opt For You, Easily, Fun History, Velour, as well as Amazonian. So now we have moved to the next stage of the competition, which is the audience favorite. Again, now here is the information. So everyone here, now you can vote for your audience favorite by either texting business 844 text business 844 to 22323 to join. That's select A for Green Acre Exchange, select B for Opt For You, select C for Easily, select D for Fun History, select E for Velour, or select F for Amazonian. Or you can go online to polev.com/business 844 to make your selections here. So right now is your time for everyone online as well as everyone in the audience to select your audience favorite while the judges go back and convene to figure out who will be the first, second, and third place winners. Okay. And everyone, while you're voting, please have some refreshments. Please have some cookies, have some sandwiches while the judges are convening.
Yeah, this is where you participate. So just with that phone, you know you have, go to 22333 and enter business 844. Wait till they respond to you and then put in a letter. I see many of you have entered the competition. That's good. I'll be watching this. All right. Oh, we have big checks. Okay.
Thank you again. Keep on voting, and while the judges are going into the next room and convening who will be the audience favorite as well as the first, second, and third place winners. So again, please, you can stretch your legs, have a drink, have a sandwich, have a cookie while the judges are deciding.
It's like the security camera.
That was like terrible. I see the correct. I saw the big like I asked her you know, Mike,
That's great. For her, do you know that if she's gonna write it or? Yes.
I wish she could get some money from it. We'll talk to them.
Hey.
She actually marked it, so we can see 20 else.
You should be deliberating. The dark arts. I'm like, if she doesn't do it, she goes into the benefit of consulting, forget about it. What was the best question ever? If you see slot 72.
It was a nice diverse group of presentations, like they were all over the use code for testing.
I wonder if this gentleman can tell us how many people watch.
Well, last time I was over 16.
Okay.
I just, because Mike Lowry texted me, he wanted to know what I told him, so I just wanted to see what he was on. That was like 40 minutes ago.
Like very.
I wish I that would
All right, everybody, we do have the conclusion. Here's your pen. All right, should we on the edge of our seats? All right, come on down. I like that you're wheeling and dealing the clothing from Green Acre Exchange. That's right. All right, if our judges come back or have they fled the building? Oh, there they are, okay. Emily just needs to eat. Oh no, you can sit until, okay, Stan, that's a good idea. All right, we do need a drum roll for this thing. I think it'd be great. All right, we are doing Green Acre Exchange based on, oh, I just said it. Based on, we're looking at the audience favorite. I wonder what it is. That is right, based on your vote and those online. Man, let me not do the Academy Awards. The winner is Green Acre Exchange.
Yeah, this is obviously from the polling, so I think just very wide appeal for what people resonates with people with regard to sustainability and reusability. So I think that's this is the audience voting on this, supposing what that actually is. But I think it's just the broad appeal is why he kind of has won this one. So congratulations.
Oh, you're gonna let me do this again?
Okay. Third place winner coming in is our third place winner is Valor. Would you say something about Valor?
Yeah, that's
I mean, I don't think there's anything much more to say than the positive feedback that we all had and the idea. Obviously, you're both bold. I'm a massive proponent of diversity, and especially in the world of startups and tech, and disrupting a very well-defined industry such as beauty is it's not easy, but can appreciate the passion that you both bring to it. Best of luck, and yeah, just keep that energy as you continue to grow.
Now for our second place winner. Our second place winner goes to Opt For You.
He's gonna pick you. You guys are really concise on your explanation of what's going on. I also think that you guys, I like the mission in tackling a lot of the student athletes that don't have the opportunities that the larger athletes do. So I think that's really good. I would really just think about more of like the marketing plan. How are you guys going to get in front of these student athletes and on the brand side? I think there just needs to be a little more thought there, but I think you guys killed it.
Congratulations to Opt For You. Now the moment that we all been waiting for, who is the first place winner? Everyone has done well. Everyone has definitely seen the work that everyone put into their presentation. But again, there only can be one, and that first place winner is Amazonian.
So your energy is as infectious as tall you are. So wishing you all the best. And I say that people with good energy that's sellable can sell anything. So I think once you hone it in, you just keep doing this, refine it. I don't see why this can't be a success.
All right, I guess the dark trophy goes back to Rose Hill for a little while longer. Sean, really? I don't know that we needed the hand gestures, but really want to thank all of you worked really hard on your businesses. And you know, as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of no's. So if you were a no tonight, that just means let's work harder. Let's find out the angles that you need. Because you have great ideas. The judges had to work hard on this. So really appreciate everyone's participation. And thank you for being there and cheering them on. And next year, even bigger and better. Over at your place next time, Al. All right, thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Thanks to Winston. All right.
Thank you everyone. Thank you to all the team, to the judges. Enjoy the remainder of the night. Have some cookies, have some drinks, and get home safe.